will mean for the markets. Let's bring in Shiraz Ahmed, Senior Financial Advisor and Portfolio Manager at Sartorial Wealth at Raymond James. It's great to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I know it's impossible to predict what announcement will actually be made, but in general, this presumably is a threat for Canadian equities in the short term, these tariffs.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's one thing that every single person is looking. You can't go 2 seconds without hearing about it. So time will tell what this actually ends up being, but it's something that everyone is having a very close look at.
And the Canadian dollar, you're a momentum trader. I don't know if you ever turn your hand to commodities, but maybe we could have a look at the Canadian dollar. It seems to have downward momentum right now.
Absolutely. So it does have downward pressure right now. It looks like that will likely continue if there are tariff talks that do end up happening. It's something that we're obviously having a very close eye on. This is a very fluid situation. And because it hasn't been fully fleshed out, a lot of it has been rhetoric up until this point. But what we can see is the dollar is under pressure.
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to think, it's a paradox. Well, nothing's ever certain in the markets. You might be tempted to buy US stocks to get a currency pickup, but if the loonie turns around, that would be a painful trade, maybe.
Absolutely. So looking at currency hedged positions may be a solution for a lot of individual investors. So it really just depends on what your overall goal is. But that's something that, of course, I would encourage everyone to look at.
You are a momentum trader. So you're less concerned with income statement and cash flow fundamentals. You're interested in the movement of a stock, but you're not a technical analyst per se. Can you just explain your philosophy or method?
Absolutely. So quite frankly, we are a momentum manager. So to use an analogy, we try to find the player that's on fire, whoever has the hot hand. So we're less concerned about an individual security, whether it's Constellation Software, Franco-Nevada, Nvidia. It doesn't matter. These are all tools in a toolbox. We're trying to find the one that's currently moving. So if it has positive momentum, that's a position that we want to participate in. And that's really our primary objective, is we may miss the beginning of a move, perhaps the end of a move, but we want to get the meat in the middle. Do
you ever short things if they have a downward momentum?
Currently, we actually run a long-only strategy, but that's something that we've thought about in the future.
Yeah, because it's an intriguing area, and some people say it's healthy for the market, short selling.
Absolutely. It's a necessary part of healthy market activities, but that's something that currently we're not actually we're actively trading in.
Let's put up a one-year chart and then a 5-year chart for Constellation Software, if that's okay, because it's been a wonderful stock to own over the years. What kind of momentum are you seeing in Constellation right now?
Well, right now, Constellation is one of our highest conviction securities. I think we have a little bit over a 17% weighting in Constellation as a single stock position. It has about a 1-year standard deviation of a little over 22% and a Sharpe ratio of 1.5. So it's one of the ones that we do favor from a risk-reward standpoint.
Is it a volatile stock as such?
Not necessarily volatile. Just right now we're seeing a higher level of volatility in the overall market, but it's actually been working out quite favorably for most investors. So right now, again, it's a widget. It's a tool in the toolbox. We like this tool right now.
What about Nvidia? Maybe we could I'm not sure, what would be a good time frame to look at Nvidia?
I'd say at least over a year to 2 years.
Well, let's try a year then for Nvidia. That stock has been swinging around, to put it mildly.
Absolutely. So Nvidia is a stock that we've still historically liked. Now, we've had a relatively lower weighting on a lot of the Mag 7 relative to a lot of our other positions, but we have participated in it in and out multiple times throughout the course of the year. We typically rebalance on a quarterly basis, but this is a position that we have liked historically.
What about now? Would you be a buyer of Nvidia now?
I think generally right now we're in the first innings of a very long ball game on AI. Right now, Nvidia is one of the de facto plays for AI. I don't think this is over yet. DeepSeek did, of course, shock the markets. Things did sell off. But just like anything, it rebounded quite quickly. So I don't think we're over yet. There's a lot more legs in this.
But would you buy Nvidia today on its momentum characteristics?
I think I'd wait and see as Trump continues some of the tariff talk on how this is going to look. But I would look at buying Nvidia in the not too distant future.
Now, you refer to the Sharpe ratio. Classically, that compares the return of an investment with its risk. Can you just enlarge on that, how you use that metric?
So we typically look at a couple metrics, but the two ones that we tend to hone in on is one, the Sharpe ratio, which is your risk-adjusted return, and the other one would be our standard deviation, which is the amount of volatility. And if you were to ask me if I only had one metric that I could actually ever even look at, if I were to have one metric to look at, it'd be price. Tell me what the stock did yesterday would be the best indication of what it's likely to do tomorrow.
That's interesting. So your method reminds me of technical analysis in the sense that those players would say, well, I don't care if it's candle wax or if it's IBM stock. I'm just interested in the chart.
Generally, yes, but we've migrated away from more so charts to more algorithmic. So we're allowing machine learning to help us quite a bit, and I think it's trying to be as modern and current as possible.
Are you using AI then in some forms?
Absolutely, every single day. I think I'm a big user of it. Why do you think I'm a big believer in it?
Do you sometimes find that the AI comes up with ideas and you're just like, oh, I don't know where it came up with that?
Of course, and there's obviously fact checking. It's getting better. So it's not like in the first versions of them, they weren't quite as smooth, but they are getting a lot better.
What I mean by that is apparently some of the chess programs now, it suggests moves. They're good moves, but the experts, the grandmasters can't say, I don't know why it wants to do that.
Absolutely, and a lot of them are finding them challenging to beat. So we love them.
Yeah. Are you a chess player yourself?
I was when I was younger.
Oh my God.